And with the Broncos losing, the Miami Dolphins are officially knocked out of the playoffs. But on some better news, am I right? What is up, Finn fans? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that intro. I fixed the lights because the Dolphins lost, and I didn't fix it because they kept winning, and I'm superstitious. I didn't shave for 7 weeks. I haven't gotten a haircut in 7 weeks. I haven't fixed the lights. I wore the same, and they lost today. And unfortunately, the Denver Broncos also lost today, which means the Miami Dolphins are officially eliminated from the playoffs. So the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots are clinched their playoff spot. So next week, essentially, I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots rest their starters. If they're or not, they might still be vying for the division title. A lot's going to come down to that, and a lot of Bills fans are going to be Dolphin fans next week. And I would absolutely love for the Dolphins to pull off a last-minute victory, go out of the season 9-8, and have the Bills be the division winner. Because screw the Patriots. But I'm not going to review the season. I'm not going to do a season review until after next week. Yes, the season's over, but I'm going to do it after next week. We're going to talk about stats on the year. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. And then this whole off season, I have I have a video specifically for Tua Tagovailoa. He's a big thing that we need to talk about. My thoughts on him, I told you by the end of this year, I will tell you if he's a guy we should build for and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So that is a video that'll be coming out, who should we sign, who should we cut, what's going on with Brian Flores, all that stuff. So I have a lot planned. So, and then I have a giveaway coming because you guys helped me break 29,000 and it's growing. And hopefully soon we break 30,000 and I'll do another huge giveaway to thank you guys. But yeah, unfortunately the Miami Dolphins got knocked out of the playoffs. And after going 1-7, and getting back to 7-7 and then 8-7 and getting that last wild card spot for a week. We enjoyed it for a week. We relied too much on other people when we should have took care of business ourselves. I'll talk more about today's game, being that I got a few hours to sit back, think about it. And, I'm not even going to talk about the refs because the refs should have never been an issue. It should have never came to that. Things should have been differently, whether it's from Tua. And again, I'm sticking by the fact that Tua had an incredibly off game. There's games like last week and throughout the whole 7-game stretch when he was playing that he'll make a stupid mistake and then he will come back and make up for it. And today it just seemed like he was off. He missed Waddle on an easy, he was 2 yards away from him and he overthrew it. And it's just, what is going on with him today? Was it the weather? Again, that's not an excuse, but was it the weather? Was the weather getting to him? Is he not used to playing in the cold or the wet? Get used to it, my man. Because the NFL, you're going to be playing in these elements. So he just off. The more I was thinking about it and the more I was thinking about his passes, I was like, what was going on with him mentally? I'm still sticking with the coaching was also another huge factor in today's game. It was bad calls. Now, am I expecting to do zero blitz on the Titans the whole game? No, that is stupid. You don't do that. They barely did it. For a guy who was the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL, we sacked him once. And our defense has the most sacks on the season. We got him once. So that was a problem there. Some of the calls on 3rd and short were a problem there. It seemed like it was a whole team falter, right? Because not only did you have Tua struggling, but some of the receivers were struggling. Some of the drops were easy catches that normally happen. And I don't want to hear anything about the weather. I know I just talked about the weather with Tua, and I'm not making that excuse. Like I just said, you need to tough it out because it's the NFL. I don't want to hear any excuses about the footing, about the drop balls, about Tua's throwing, about the defense, about giving up on the run game. I don't want to hear anything involving the weather. Because you know what? The Tennessee Titans played in the same exact elements, and they beat the crap out of us. They ran all over us for 200-plus yards. Tannehill did what he needed to. He wasn't out there throwing passes left and right, carving us up. No, he did what he had to. He had wide open touchdowns. His 2 touchdowns were wide open. The one to the tight end, wide open, and then the other one to the tight end, just couldn't have been easier touchdowns for him to just throw the ball to. Just easy. They beat us on the ground. 100% beat us on the ground. And comment of the day, I'm going to get to comment of the day now because it was a very good comment. J-Boy says, comment of the day, Titans only attempted 18 passes in wet, frozen, and high winds today. Bills 30 passes versus Patriots 3 on December 6th. Outcoached. We should have had a better game plan. And I talked about the fact that we abandoned the run, and somebody commented, and it's funny too, because when we lose a game, and especially when we lose a game this important, I know that there's going to be some people in the comment section that are going to be really bothered by the loss. They come after me hard, call me an idiot, and you don't do. One guy told me I should be fired, like somebody hired me to do this. Another guy, here comes Doug, what the excuses? I didn't make any excuses. And somebody said, someone needs to teach me. I don't remember, but essentially because I talked about that we stopped running the ball. And he said, again, I don't remember specifically, but he said the reason why we stopped running the ball or the reason why he had 7 yards of carry was because we were losing by 39. We didn't lose by 39. And they were allowing us to run the ball so we could eat the clock up. The Dolphins abandoned the run in like the second quarter. No, that's not how that works. They should have kept running the ball because it was producing 10, 15-yard rushes. Even Myles Gaskin had a nice run. They should have continued to run the ball and not put all of the pressure and everything on Tua, who looked off. Once you saw the first quarter and a half, you knew there was something wrong with Tua. Then all of a sudden, you need at halftime to change the game plan and don't put too much on Tua. What did they do? They had Tua throw it 38 times or something like that. It didn't make sense. And it's not even like the offense was inept and couldn't move the ball, because we moved the ball. We got on their side of the field a few times. We stalled. We got to their 45, their 35. There was offensive holding. There was all these penalties pushing us back. We got into their red zone, ended up just kicking a field goal instead of going for it. At some point, I'm like, just go for it. People are, that's dumb. How do you go for it on their 46? If the defense is good enough and can stop them, then you need to go for it, because your offense is killing this game right now. The offense lost us this game. The defense held them. They still ran on us and all this other stuff, but the defense held them. The offense, on the other hand, was killing us. It was like the Buffalo Bills game all over again this year, where we held the Bills to 3 points for 2.5 quarters, and the offense could not get anything going. So it's like something needed to change. And the coaching is just that they didn't make the right decisions and they didn't make the right adjustments, and they sucked it up. They sucked it up big time. So that was today's game. Again, I sat back and I thought about it more, and I don't know what happened to Tua. And again, I'm not going to go too in-depth on games this year or too in-depth on Tua. Those are videos for after next week's game with the Dolphins-Patriots game, which right now it's more about the Patriots trying to win the division and the Dolphins trying to end on a high note. But this season, it sucks that it ended like this, but it's so Dolphins that it did end like this. You know what I'm saying? We go into Tennessee. It's cold. It's raining. We need to win the next 2 games to get in the playoffs. We go on a 7-game winning streak. Hopes are high. Everyone's like, well, not everyone, because some people still think that the 7-game winning streak meant nothing, even though we just watched the Jets almost beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they just crapped the bed. And it's not even like we lost 34-31. We lost 34-3. We could do nothing on offense. It was just so bad. But like I said, unfortunately, knocked out of the playoffs. Starting 1-7, going on a 7-game winning streak has never happened in the NFL, so it's nice to see that. At least we can put that feather in our cap. But again, I'm not going to go too far into details because that's the end of the year review. But there was those 3 games. Those 3 games, the Jaguars game, the Falcons game, and the Raiders game. that if those 3 games happen, the Dolphins are in a completely different situation. And this loss doesn't mean as much because we're still in the playoffs. It probably knocks us out of the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed down to the number 3 seed. But we still have a lead on the division because of how many wins we have over the Bills. And we own our tiebreaker over the Patriots. Like, those 3 games just kill. The Raiders game kills, not only because of the 14-0 lead we had and giving up the safety, but the missed field goal. Sanders 2 for 3 in that game. And then the ref not calling that PI, which was a blatant PI. Will Fuller, I think it might have been his last game, second to last game he played, getting mauled in the end zone. Then you have the Atlanta Falcons game. No, sorry, it was the Jaguars game next. Both the Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons game, the games ended by those teams marching down the field, getting in field goal range, kicking the field goal to win the game. Both of those games, the Jaguars and the Falcons games. And both of those games, Sanders missed a field goal. Whether blocked or missed, he missed a field goal in both of those games, which kills. Absolutely kills. Because again, we win those 3 games, we're sitting here right now going into the Titans game, the number 1 seed. You can go back and check it. The number 1 seed. So a lot has to be thought about and looked at, and this is something we're going to talk about next week in the year in review video. Who's at fault for the 7-game losing streak, right? Because then you could say who gets the credit for the 7-game win streak, but who's at fault for the 7-game losing streak? Because Tua was out for 4 of those games, so you can't put Tua on it for the 7-game losing streak. You can put it for 3. The Falcons and the Jaguars, sure, you can put 2 on those 3, or there's 2 of the 3, because then you also have the Bills game. But who's at fault? Is it the coaching? Is it the Jacoby Brissett? Is it the quarterback? These are things that we need to think about now, and things that we're going to talk about. But I know a lot of people are upset with Tua. I'm upset with Tua. I'm not even going to front. Because people like to call me a Tua apologist. As soon as the live stream was over, here comes the excuses for Tua, and I made 0 excuses for Tua. 0. It makes me laugh when people label me as something I am not. Because when Tua struggles, I point it out. And he struggled today. Jeez Louise. I don't know what that was. His interception against the Jets. My point of that was not to say, oh, see, it was good. It was a good throw. He should have done it. And people hear what they want to hear. Because in the video breakdown, I even say, why had Waddle wide open? Why the heck did he throw that? I see why he threw it. Mac Hollins stopped his route, but he still shouldn't have thrown it. He should have thrown it to Waddle. But people ignore that and say, you're making excuses for that. I'm not, man. Listen, Linda, listen. But the biggest thing, and I think the biggest video I'm going to make, is the Tua Tagovailoa video. Because I told you guys, the end of this year is when I make my decision. Because I always like to, I like to give rookies 3 years, but unfortunately Tua doesn't have 3 years because there's somebody waiting, a top 5 quarterback in his 5th year. This would have been his 5th year, waiting in the wings, and he's a young quarterback. Got off the field issues, but he's waiting. And the Dolphins are the team that everyone keeps circling that he's going to go to. So he doesn't have that luxury of learning and growing. He doesn't have that luxury Josh Allen had. He doesn't have that luxury that Trevor Lawrence has. He doesn't have the luxury Zach Wilson has. Peyton Manning, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, Steve Young. He doesn't have that luxury of learning and getting better while playing. He doesn't have that luxury. So I'm going to make that video next week too, after the Dolphins game, talking about Tua, his expectations, where his expectations came from, and where we go from there. But I'm going to keep you guys in suspense on that. It's going to be a good video. It's going to be a real good video. But this week is the same situation. We got the Big O show on Tuesday. We got the film breakdown on Wednesday. It's going to be... I'm not looking forward to that film breakdown. It was so off. The offense was so off. It was so bad today. And I didn't want to get my hopes up, and I didn't. But I thought to myself, if they can just play sound football, and if the offense can just do what they did against the Saints. People underestimate how good that Saints defense is. Even with 3 of their starters out, it was pretty good. And we scored 13 points on them. If the Dolphins offense could just chain that together, there's a possibility. This offense didn't do any of that. Oh my God, it was so bad. But yeah, and then picks, and then we'll preview the Dolphins-Patriots game, which again, I think it just comes down to, let me double check, division winner between the Dolphins, between the Patriots and the Bills, because they split the series. So right now it's 10-6, 10-6, and 10-6. So if the Dolphins beat the Patriots, then the Bills become the division winner. And if the Patriots beat the Dolphins, and I think something else has to happen, it's going to be real interesting to see how that tiebreaker goes with the Bills and the Patriots. You have the Bengals clinching their division and clinching a playoff spot, 10-6. Same thing with the Tennessee Titans. They won their division, and the Kansas City Chiefs won their division. Good for them. Good for them. It's a tight race for the wild card spot. You got the Ravens 8-8. You got the Colts 9-7. You got the Chargers and the Raiders 9-7. So it's a tight race for those for that last wild card spot. It's going to be very, very interesting in the AFC, because right now it's in the hunt is the Colts and the Chargers. Right now the playoff spots are the Patriots, Colts, and Chargers are the playoffs wild card, and you have the Raiders, Ravens, and Steelers. I can't believe the Steelers still have a chance. Well, they have to play. Do the Browns beating them? No, it's Monday night. So they still have a chance. But unfortunately, we don't. But I have a lot planned for you guys. Just wanted to talk about the fact that we got knocked out, more about the game, and all that stuff. I appreciate you guys. Season kind of was up and down. It was down and then up, and now it's down a little bit. A lot of down and then a lot of up. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys in the comment section. I'm reading all of your comments, every single one of your comments. And most of them are nice and understanding and not attacking. And there's the few that are very angry at me for some reason. Like I control the Miami Dolphins or something. But I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I might do a deeper dive video tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. But you'll definitely see me on Tuesday with Big O. It's going to be an interesting conversation because I think Tua did horrible. Absolutely horrible today. And it has nothing to do with the offensive line because there was time he had time in the pocket and he was just sailing passes. I don't know what happened to him today, but it's going to be a very interesting conversation with Big O on Tuesday. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, definitely on Tuesday. But like usual, guys, stay classy. Offense up.